My grandma got me into therapy. She was real. Like she would talk about how she felt.
Mm-hmm.
She would talk about how you made her feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the power behind that. And she knew that I was very upset, frustrated, vengeful because of the way that I thought I should have been treated by my father or whatever, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And right when she passed, she told me to take care of myself, make sure I'm healthy, both physically and mentally. And that's what got me there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a whole can of worms. A lot of shit I didn't know bothered me from my childhood that I had brought into my adulthood and brought into relationships. I had to navigate, still navigating to this day. I'm a work in progress.
Absolutely.
You know, we all are, but yeah, I wouldn't have done that without her.
This is SAGA, a podcast about the people using their powers to shape thesis. My name is Octavius A. Newman, and we're speaking to Brandon Morayo, artist, skateboarder, and motion design lead here at Thesis. This is Brandon's Saga.
Brandon,
Liberty
how you
Mutual.
living?
Liberty Bibbity. I'm good.
How you feel?
I feel fantastic. I'm on top of my game. Yeah,
On top of my game.
I'm on top of my game, man.
What does that mean?
I'm in my bag.
For the people at home,
Yeah,
and for me, to be honest with you,
yes.
I want to get deeper into more than what I already know about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy to look online, look at thesis.agency and find Brandon and go, oh, lead motion designer. But for someone, maybe the young you or the young me, who doesn't know what that is, because we talked a little bit like, I didn't know what motion design was. What, in your own words, what is a motion designer?
A motion designer is someone who you essentially make things move on a screen. As long as people can understand a message from a brand to the client, that's your job. It's to bring kinetics to static images, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just carrying a message, and that's my job. And I lead people in doing that. I join them in doing that, and the goal is to, as a team, create a piece that a company can use for their product.
Mm-hmm. So I know animation is involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the tools that you use? What's some of the stuff involved in doing motion design?
Well, we mostly use the Adobe After Effects suite for motion design, but we also dabble in some 3D processes. We use Muse, we use Cinema 4D, different things like that. If the need asks for it, but we mostly just stay in Adobe, After Effects, Premiere, different things like that.
Now, animation. I am an animator myself. You're an animator also. Would you call animation hard?
No.
No?
No.
A lot of animators would say animation is hard as hell, and you're
not.
like, no, it's not hard. Why is it not hard?
Because we think too much.
Okay.
If we look at everything around us, it's all animated, it's all moving. And there's a purpose behind it. And we just have to observe how the things around us move and put that in your work. It's not hard. We just have to learn the process of how to do it on a computer, and you're good to go.
So the illusion of life, as they call it.
It's all a trick, man.
It's a trick?
It's all a trick. It's the greatest show on earth is to gate people out of learning new things to keep you in a box. And if you want to learn something, you just learn it. It's not hard. You just have to put in the dedication for it. That might be hard, staying dedicated to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so animation in and of it. Oh, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying when you're saying it's not hard.
Yeah.
In a sense of like, you can do it too.
Yeah, everybody
It's
can do it.
within your grasp. It's
yeah,
possible.
everybody can do it. Yeah.
But the effort, the hard work, the dedication, but it's not outside of your grasp.
Yeah, there's nothing. I was fortunate enough to be taught that I can do anything. And I'm hoping that everybody that come into contact with, they feel the same way. So that's what I'm saying. It's not hard. You just have to decide, is this what I want to do? Whatever you choose, do it. And if that's animation today, let it be that and focus on it.
What other stuff in your skill set do you do? We talked about animation, motion design. What other aspects, what other things do you do with your craft?
We do a lot of brainstorming, a lot of behind the scenes organization, a lot of collaboration. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not all art. It's you take a piece of that and you apply it. And you have to do that with a group of people. So you have to learn how to talk to people, how to communicate, how to listen. You know, that's more important to me than being able to execute a task, being able to explain your reasoning to why it is that you have to do it, or to be able to listen to somebody else so they can break it down for you. Yeah, that's a big thing that I use.
Now the lead part, not motion designer, but lead motion designer, leadership. What role does that play in what you have to do or what you're doing?
Lately, I've been realizing that you're a safety net.
As a leader?
As a leader, you're a safety net from between the brand and the people doing the work, the executing the work. You're the person who hears the why from the brand and the ask, and you translate it to the people who are actually doing it. To be a leader, you have to be a listener, like I was saying. You have to separate yourself from the work. You might realize that not everybody might like you, you know, and that's just something that you have to deal with. You're a representation of everybody that you touch hands with as a leader. Yeah.
Wow.
I hope that answered the question.
No, it did. It did because like that perspective, because everybody's perspective of leadership is different. You know, some people leadership is you better do what I said.
No.
Why isn't it done yet?
I mean, there's a purpose for that, but you're a shepherd, man. Like you know, you're choosing the best course of action for your flock or your sheep to go, and I'm a sheep my damn self, so I'm just learning how to be the best shepherd possible, so I can help people who come up after me, so they don't mess up.
Yeah.
You know, just guide them the right way.
So that's a little bit about where you're at right now, what you're doing right now. I'm curious about some of the journey on the way up to where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Brandon Morayo, boom, finished product. Currently at this point in the saga, this is who you are. But I'd like to turn the pages back. You know what I'm saying? Like when you flip to the beginning of the book and like, okay, where do we start?
Yeah.
Where are you from? Where were you born?
I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, Roll Tide. I love home. I'm from a beautiful family, very caring, attentive family. I'm from a rough neighborhood, like a lot of people back there. And I was very fortunate to get out. But I had big homies who looked out for me. I had, like I said, family that looked out for me. And I made it out of there, man. I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I used to be super insecure like a lot of people, you know? But I'm fortunate to have learned to not necessarily grow out of that, grow into who I am now. And I know there's so much more to go. There's so much more to learn. I'm excited.
There's a lot in there I want to know about.
Oh yeah.
Specifically the geek part, you know, because we share in the geekdom. We are both, I identify as a geek as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's
you
dope.
already know.
Yeah.
Look at me. Come on.
Yeah.
Look at here.
Turtle power.
Exactly.
Turtle power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the geekdom a little bit later, but let's talk about Alabama. Rough neighborhood, tough crowd. Tell me more.
It's the hood. You know, you can.
That puts it in a little bit of a box.
Yeah, it was a box. It was a box. There's so many brilliant minds that didn't get a chance to make it out of that box, and that makes me real sad. But man, I'm from, you know, I'm not a hard ass dude. I'm not a street dude or whatever. I know how to manipulate that space and how to move through it so that I get out alive. Because I had to learn how to do that. That's what it was, man. There were fights, there were gangs, there were drugs. I'm fortunate that I was exposed to that when I was younger. Fortunate because I learned the negative part of it. I saw the fun part and I saw the negative part, and I knew how to, you know, I had people who say, "Hey, bro, that's not for you," and they pushed me out of that, and it saved my life.
So yeah, old heads. Well, I mean, what that's what we call it in Philly.
Yeah, old heads, OGs, you know, big homie.
That was like youngin'.
Yeah, and they were only like 20 years old, man. They weren't even old.
Oh, for real? How old were you?
I was like 17, 16, being stupid. There was a situation, but I had people look out for me. And there was a situation where somebody said, it could be you going here, but I'll do that for you. I got you.
Mm.
You know, and I'll never forget that.
Mm.
Because I know what I'm doing now. You know, I'm cool. I'm all right. But I know there's people watching me. There's people trying to see the blueprint, and I want them to see that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're more than all right, Brandon.
man,
Listen, I'm not going.
I'm cool or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right.
No, but you're more than all right. You like, listen. I've worked with Brandon for a minute. I've learned from you myself personally. I've had conversations with you that have helped guide me along. So, you know, I'm an example already of what you're talking about.
Man, we're gonna cry up in this thing.
Well,
you know that, right?
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
The strong black manhood, we cry. We cry.
Black men do cry.
Yes,
indeed.
Yes. So
who's around when you're a youngin? Who's in the house? Who's around?
Women.
Okay.
Women, and I'm sure you can tell, like, but just my steez, my style. I'm not the most traditionally masculine dude, and I'm proud of that. But black women, some white women, you know, just women in general. They were there, they were nurturers, they were attentive. It wasn't until I was like 12, 13 when I started actually hitting the street where I started to meet guys. You know, because my dad wasn't there. You know, for whatever reason he chose to not be, and I'll hold that against him. But I had my family was my rock when I was young, and they cultivated my my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel low key. I'd be feeling like I feel like I'm my grandmother cloned in another life, and she got to see it from a different perspective.
Okay,
that's how I be feeling a lot.
Okay,
yeah,
there's a lot in there too that I want to dig in. I'm trying to keep up, cause I relate to a lot. Grew up with a lot of women too.
Mm-hmm.
My father wasn't around also. But you said something interesting. Did you say you don't hold that against him?
I don't anymore. I used to.
Okay.
Man, I was an angry kid. I was you know, you're young, you don't know how to process emotion, you feel abandoned.
Oh yeah.
You feel abandoned. You feel like they chose something other than you. And sometimes that's what a lot of kids, black boys, are told that. Your dad don't want to be around, yada, 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 whatever reason they have. But I had to go to therapy, man, and it helped me navigate that. And I learned that after I dealt with that, all my relationships showed promise, and they showed something from that, you know? And I'm so happy I was able to do that. But tragedy took me there, so.
Yeah. We might cry on this one.
We're gonna cry.
Yeah, I'm just, again, because I feel it. I feel you. I still feel like that sometimes. You know, of just like, where were you doing? Where are you at? You know?
Yeah.
But therapy also, of like, I got to talk about this.
Yes.
I got to process this.
You got to get it out. Got to get it out.
Was there something in particular that prompted that said, I have to discuss this, deal with this dialogue about this? Or was there someone around?
My grandmother.
Okay.
She passed in 2019 from colon cancer. I've never seen anybody die that close. Like, I've had people die in my life. I've had friends shot, stuff like that, you know, stupid shit. But I've never watched somebody die. And I got to watch her live. She chose her life. And I feel like me seeing that, her choosing to let me be there for that, gave me, it helped me reorganize my priorities. And she said, I want you to be healthy. Grandson, I want you to be healthy. And my mental health was part of that. She knew that I had a vengeful energy in me because of not having my father around, not getting the things that I was working hard to get, I thought I deserved. Yeah, stupid young stuff, you know? But having her point me in the direction of getting therapy, I think that helped so much, and I wouldn't have done that without her.
Wow, so grandma specifically was like...
Yeah, because, man, you know, like in the black community, there's this taboo behind therapy. You're weak. You know, you're not strong. Whatever they want to call you. And she didn't give a shit about that. She demystified that. She's like, no, because you need to be good here too, not just here physically. That needs to line up.
I would love for you to talk more about that experience, from how that felt. About
her getting me into therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. My grandma got me into therapy. She she was real. Like she would talk about how she felt.
Mm-hmm.
She would talk about how you made her feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the power behind that. And she knew that I was very upset, frustrated, vengeful because of the way that I thought I should have been treated by my father or whatever, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And right when she passed, she told me to take care of myself, make sure I'm healthy, both physically and mentally. And that's what got me there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a whole can of worms. A lot of shit I didn't know bothered me from my childhood that I had brought into my adulthood and brought into relationships. I had to navigate, still navigating to this day. I'm a work in progress.
Absolutely.
You know, we all are, but yeah, I wouldn't have done that without her.
So this is Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma,
Mm-hmm.
mother.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Any other characters? Any other characters are?
Grandma Helen, my mom, Chandra, my aunt Mary, my aunt Denise, my cousin Tori. I don't have brothers, but my cousins Kenya and Tristan, they're like my two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That was the male energy right there. We had each other, like just three amigos just busting it down, running through Montgomery, learning and growing. Yeah.
Mm.
If my movie had a cast, that's them.
That's the cast?
That's the
That's
cast.
exactly what I was asking.
Yeah, it's tight. It's
in
real
my
tight.
head.
Yeah.
It's like, who are the, when you see that when they first introduce the main characters?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody's
Okay.
a character too, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all each other in a different way.
So at this point in life, when you're in Alabama and you're young, you're in this younger age, do you have dreams, goals, aspirations? I'm going here. Like, is there anything like that going on internally? Or is there something that the family is pushing you towards?
Since I was in elementary school, I had like I guess you can call it a gift with drawing, with art. Originally, I wanted to be an astrophysicist when I was little because I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's cool as hell,
So
man.
wait,
Bill Nye's dope.
I want to be. So Bill Nye, you're like,
Michio Kaku,
that's the guy.
he's yeah. Just stuff, anything that we don't know, I was like, I need to know that.
Okay.
And then I learned that there's a lot of that science and math in art. And then I come to, like there's different sizes through
Golden
different
circle kind of thing?
Yeah, the mean, golden mean and all that stuff, man. And going through design college back in Alabama, that both those things lined up. So I can be a scientist and I could be an artist. You know, it worked out.
So this is purely from fandom, from seeing people
Emulation.
that you want to be like.
Yeah, because I might not have had that at home. So I had to go look outward, observation. Like I was saying, like things aren't hard. You just got to see it. I learned through seeing through these eyes that I was gifted with. Yeah.
Do you feel like you can see things that other people can't see?
Not necessarily.
Or a unique perspective?
I think I have my own unique perspective that I've learned how to tap into.
Okay.
That I think we all can do. I just do mine my own way.
Okay, so your perspective is what's unique. It's not so much that you can see what other people see.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that, 100%. Life has color. I think that every facet of my life has a theme. I feel like it makes more sense, this thing that we experience. It makes more sense if I apply something to it like color or themes. And right now my life feels blue, which is why I wore blue today. It feels...
What do they call that when you can...
I think synesthesia. But I think it's like if you experience like a sensation like touch, you apply color to it.
Okay.
I do that with numbers. I don't do it with touch or nothing.
Okay.
But life is blue. Like it's I never thought blue was sad or cold. Blue is it has a high frequency, almost like violet. It's high energy. It's boundless, like the sky when you look up, or like the ocean. The ocean's so powerful. That's how my life feels right now.
Powerful.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing I can't do. And if I fuck it up, I just learn my lesson and then you do it right the next time.
Yeah.
That's exactly what my life feels like right now.
That is a perspective. Everybody don't see it that way at all. So you said you're young. You always had artistry. How would you describe that? Like, when did you first pick that up?
There was a kid in my elementary school. I forgot his name. I think his name was Craig. Forgive me if I forget.
Shout out to you, Craig.
Yeah, shout out, big homie. Like you were dope, real dope. I went to a school called Flowers Elementary. It was one of the only schools that I knew of in the city that had such a diverse group. Like I had black kids, white kids, Asian kids, Hispanic kids. We're all together. Craig was this cool little white kid. He had this game called Kirby Superstar.
Okay.
And he's like, yo, do you not have this game? And I'm like, nah. Like he just brought the game book to school, like, back in the day.
Yeah, Game Pro magazine?
No, just the instruction manual for the game.
From inside the...
From Super Nintendo. And I remember staring at it, and this little pink thing named Kirby would change shape. It'll eat stuff, and he'd jump and all that. I'm like, man, what is that? He let me borrow the game because I was so interested in the book. Like he let me hold the book all day, and he's like, man, you know what? I'm bringing the game the next day to school because I already beat it. It's whatever. He brought the game. And
that's how a friendship starts, right?
Yeah, he was like my best friend. Like we shared everything, man. But with that, I was obsessed with that character Kirby, and I would draw it for him all the time. And then I learned about Sonic, and I would draw that over and over again, learned about shoes through Sonic. And that just, it blew up.
You learned about shoes through Sonic?
Yeah.
Explain, please.
Have you seen Sonic shoes?
I have.
Them shit's fire. Man, yeah. Okay. Who are you to be an all blue creature to wear some red shoes and then to run in them like you fast, can't nobody touch you? That's what I want to be. I want to be that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I love character, and that learning about Sonic, learning about Kirby, learning about Mario. Eventually Pokemon, if there's 150 of these things and each one's a specific character made to do what they're supposed to, they look like what they're supposed to do, that's design, man. Their form follows their function. The Charizard got fire on his tail because that motherfucker breathed fire. He's hot. He's hot.
Right.
So yeah, like a Jordan 5 has the air in it so you get the cushion, there's a purpose to it.
Yeah.
That's all the same thing. I feel like I've always been close to that my whole life, design, and things like that because of that kid let me borrow that game.
So that's literally the genesis.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be here without him letting me borrow Kirby. Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo. Best game ever. Y'all need to play it. It's fire.
It's
fire.
Amazing to be able to pin something down.
Yeah.
Like to that moment.
Yeah. I find reasons to be grateful. And I think that's why I can do that. That was something that my therapist told me to do. Try to find reasons to be grateful. Every day there's a reason to be grateful. I'm grateful that kid let me borrow that game.
Yeah.
And I hope I did something for him similar to help him on his journey.
Fandom is such a powerful thing. When you think about what it means to be into this stuff when you're young and how people are like, oh, that's kid stuff. We're like, no, this is pivotal stuff.
Yeah.
In who I am, in my adulthood, and in my grown manness and my ability to do my job, it stems from Ninja Turtles. It stems from,
it's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my grandma said something to me one day. Like those little moments, they mean a lot.
Yeah, there's no age limit on enjoying stuff at all. Like, if there's something that you vibe with as a kid, reconnect with that when you're an adult, when you have time, introduce that to your kids. And shit, you'll enjoy it more watching them than you did doing it,
Absolutely. I love watching my daughter enjoy things that I enjoyed when I was young.
I love that, man.
I
love that.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
It's special.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Where do we go from Kirby?
Growing up in Montgomery, getting my butt whooped when I did bad shit. Eventually ending up in the magnet program because, like I said, I like math and science. And I'm glad I did that. I was in the band. I got a little bit more confidence in myself when I learned how to play some instruments.
What'd you play?
First, the oboe, because nobody wants to play the damn oboe. I didn't know what an oboe was. But I was the oboe is the person in the band that does the sound check in the beginning. I had to play a B flat. That was my job.
Okay.
I paid and the whole band tuned themselves to that. So that gave me a sense of purpose. And I learned how to be a piece in a greater thing, I was all right, but as a group, you couldn't tell us we didn't play Jurassic Park soundtrack like one of the best things you ever heard at that
Right.
zoo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. First I learned the oboe, then I learned the alto sax, and then I learned the guitar. I'm okay at guitar. I'm not that good, but it's the same principle behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I did not know you were a musician.
I wouldn't call myself, like the same way I wouldn't call myself an artist, I wouldn't call myself a musician.
What would you call yourself?
Somebody who just enjoys the shit. I don't know if there's a word for it. I just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same way where when you're designing something, you have layers in Photoshop or layers in After Effects or layers in Premiere.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that with music. It has layers. You have your bass, then you have your mids, and you layer it up. It's the same thing. It's just a different interface.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you learn that basic part, you can apply that to anything.
Perspective.
Yeah, man. That's all it is.
It's kind of like as you're talking, I hear you in that way. Layers. You know, my grandmother said this. Kirby here, and then musician, and then the big homies. Like you are the result of your layers, in a sense. Yeah,
I have no idea what other one's going to be added as I grow older, but
them Jones coming.
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, did you go to school? Did you go to college? Did you?
So I got kicked out of the magnet program in Montgomery for fighting.
You see, I need to give me the story.
So
I need the getting kicked out for fighting.
Man, I was from a neighborhood where you had to I thought that you had to carry yourself a certain kind of way to be respected. I brought that energy into the magnet school space where that's not accepted. People might not have meant to offend me, but because other people saw it, I had to fight. And I thought that that's what men do. They fight. Big, strong guys, they fight. You know, Goku, Superman, they fight. They don't talk. Last time you saw Superman talking to somebody. So that's what I did, and I got kicked out. I got into 2 fights, some bad ones. The kid was hurt, and I was hurt too. So they put me out of that. I ended up going to a public school called Jefferson Davis High in Montgomery, JD. And that was a really bad experience. My first day of school, I got tased by a security guard because some other kids were arguing in the back by the track. I was new to the school. I saw kids running. I didn't know what was going on. So I ran over there to check it out. And I got too close because it's exciting. It's high octane. Everybody's like, whoa, you know. And I got pushed into it. And coming from where I come from, you know, before I even swung anything, the guard grabbed me. He ripped my, he didn't know because that's his perspective. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He ripped my little buttons up, my brand new polo shirt, tased the shit out of me, peed on myself in front of everybody. First day of school, people didn't know my name. So for the longest time, they would crack jokes on me. So in order to balance that out, I had to find my niche. My niche was being tough. What I thought was tough. Getting into a fight's not tough. That's stupid. My hands are permanently scarred from being some dumbass kid. I'll never get that back. But it's a lesson, you know? So I did what I did there. I survived. That's when I got closer in the street and stuff. That's also where I started to learn about composition and design because some of the kids, the ones who could afford it, they would pay me to draw on their shoes. I would draw Tweety Birds.
I remember this era.
You know what I'm saying?
This.
Stuff like that, man. And I would hustle, get some money, and I ended up at a college called Troy University in Alabama, not too far from my house, 45 minutes away, but I stayed on campus. And I studied design, graduated there, and yeah.
So a lot has just happened in that time period. I need to go back a little bit. So I appreciate even the more perspective because I don't know you the way I know you. I don't know you to be a violent dude. I don't know you to be a dude who, like, I just wouldn't have. I'm
glad.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of that, man. Like, I'm so ashamed of it because I'm smarter than that.
Now or then?
Then I was too. I got caught up, and folks be saying they get that shit all the time. I got caught up, bro. That's real. You're in the moment. You don't know what you're gonna do. You practice all day, doing your perfect thing. In the moment, it don't matter because you're gonna lose all your form. You're gonna be swinging all crazy, or you're gonna be talking off the top of your head. Don't mean nothing that you're saying. Yeah. And I got caught up a few times, and I just happened to have some friends who were some ride or dies to push me out of those situations. Like there was a time when We're at Montgomery Mall in front of IHOP. My homeboy Ryan had some stuff in the car, and he's like, we could make some money. And I'm like, I'm down. They looked at me like I was crazy.
The moment in Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, that, kind of like that, where they're like, are you serious, bro? Hell no, you ain't doing that. Like, I feel like Ricky. Like, they're like, Ricky, no, you going to school.
Yeah.
I just didn't get shot.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm blessed. Yeah. I'm blessed because of that. Because I can't say that that didn't happen for them. Some of them got shot. Some of them got taken to jail. Some of them it just didn't happen to me.
That is a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying there's a reason why we're here. Like, there's a reason. And I would like to think my reason is so that people can see that this is possible. So you ain't gotta rob that store. You ain't gotta sound tough, bro. Stay at home, watch anime if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do that. Invite your homies over. The ones who ain't got man, I might cry. Who ain't got somebody to listen to them. Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so important to have that story told. Like, as I'm listening to it, I'm just like, I'm thinking about younger me hearing that, or at a different time period me hearing what you're saying. So
yeah,
on behalf of the younger us listening, watching, I'm thankful because, I mean, you don't have to share that. You don't have to talk about that. But I appreciate that you are, because I think it's really going to benefit. It's benefiting me. I think it's really going to benefit people to have you share that.
The big thing I want you to know and people to know here is honesty. Just be true. You spend so much less energy being honest than you would lying on your name or on what you can do, what you can't do, or if you're tough enough or whatever. Just be real. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If if you can't learn, just be real, man. That shit hard, but just do it.
Yeah. We talked about you getting into applying your art or your skills or your desire for it's like that fandom and the artistry in drawing on people's shoes. Like I said, I remember that era. I had some trees with Timberlands. I had some trees with
That's what y'all call some trees.
Trees, yeah. I had some trees with Superman on the front toe, and my name on the side.
That's right.
And all that kind of stuff. Talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Man, it scared the shit out of me. You ever had?
Yeah?
Yeah, because I learned what clientele was.
Were you doing it for Dope Boys?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whatever they were selling, man, they had a... they were selling beans and Lord knows what else, Blue Dolphin, all that stuff. But they would be like, hey, B, I just got this money. Some of them would just slide it in my bag and not even tell me. And they just look at me like, hey, hook me up. I'm like, what the hell? So I had to learn how to communicate with them, how to take their space or whatever, which is like, say, a 2007 Air Force One, Coke White. If you spit on it, it's dirty. I had to draw something on that. I can't mess it up. That Nike check is only so big. So I had to learn that you can't put permanent marker on everything. You have to get leather paint. You have to learn about spacing. You have to learn about how materials dry, how materials work. That was design. And I had to learn how to defend my choices. Some of them were like, hey bro, nah, why you did that? Well, because you won't be able to see it while your foot's moving, so you have to do it a certain kind of way, or you want so-and-so to see your name on your shoe when you're down the hall, right? So I made it that color. Stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just processing what you're saying, because these are some of the lessons that you learn.
Yeah.
You need to be able to explain and critique. But you're talking about it in I understand what you're saying in like the cultural context of I need to defend my choices. I need to defend my choices. This is not a
They would have whooped my ass.
Yeah. Right. I need this to be okay.
Yes.
And you bring like that. That's a way. That's one way to learn that lesson.
Yeah, man. You have to learn how to. If you want to be a designer, you can. You have to learn how to operate under pressure. You also have to learn about professionalism. You know, you have to hold yourself a certain kind of way so that people can respect your name, respect your work. Be consistent. Don't just switch the shit just to do it. Be consistent. Also learn how to explore. I used to, the money that I made from that, I would go buy test shoes from, what's the name of that store? Just for Feet,
Okay.
where you can play basketball and get your shoes at the same time.
Okay.
I would buy test shoes from there for like in the bargain spot, and I would draw on those just to practice.
Wow.
Stuff like that. I learned that you gotta spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now, this is so dope.
I'm glad.
No, I'm just saying. I'm listening to the story and I'm going like, yeah, these are the lessons that a designer or an entrepreneur, you know, or someone who's working for themselves learns and needs to learn. But the way you learned it, like your unique story of how you've learned it, that's what's interesting to me, you know, because that's yours. That's not somebody else's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? Do you, at this point, are you like, this is what I want to do?
No.
No?
No. Man, I thought I was going to school to be a artist. And I was in line for fine art. I was in the wrong line, had no idea. And
Wait.
Yeah.
College?
Yes, college, I'm sorry. So
you're like signing up for classes?
Yes. I didn't get into the Art Institute in Atlanta because I couldn't afford it.
So you got approved?
I got approved. Everything was ready to go.
Couldn't pay for it?
Couldn't pay for it. I didn't know about grants. Don't know, man, nobody from my neighborhood knew what that shit was.
So it was just like, this is how much it is. And you're like, I ain't got it.
It was way too much. They shouldn't be making folks, that institution isn't even running anymore to my knowledge. So I guess that shows the longevity of it, but it was way too expensive for what I wanted to do. And my mom's like, okay, well, you got accepted to 2 other schools, Alabama State, free ride, full ride, because they want anybody they can get.
Okay.
No offense to Alabama State, best band in the nation. And I got Troy University, which was where she went. And I said,
where your mother went?
Yeah. So I thought, why not just go there? She said, go there. So that's where I ended up going. And I was in line in orientation, my first time being away from home for a long period of time. And I was in line for fine art. And so I thought, and when I stood there for 30 minutes, I got to the front, the lady was like, yeah, this is for this. And she started explaining it. And I'm like, you could change it any time. Okay. And I stuck with it. Halfway through that process, I learned that I should probably pick up another major just in case. So I did double major of DTI, which is Design Technology Infrastructure, with Business Administration, because that's the hustle. The hustlenomics in me tells me you got to make some money, right?
So get the business in order.
That's what it was, man. So at that time in my life, I thought I was going to run a design company.
Okay, so we're talking about you saying you want to start. When you say, I want to have a design company, how do you know what a design company is? First
time I ever saw one, we were on a field trip. This was the semester before I get kicked out because I couldn't afford it in college. We went on a field trip to Atlanta. We went on a field trip to Atlanta in Georgia. And it was this design firm. I had never heard of what that was. I never seen it. It was like Mad Men. It was an agency. You go in, the chairs were, I thought success was when your office had beanbag chairs. Cause I'm like, bro, these adults having fun and playing and shit.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, here's our brand, Coca-Cola, yada, yada, yada. That's the first time seeing it. And I thought, this is what I want. This is perfectly applicable to business, to art, and they having fun, they're happy. That's what I want to do. And that's what I tried to mold my stuff towards that, try to mold my path to that. But certain things like I couldn't afford to stay in college for that year, well, for the next semester, it was that spring semester, because I just couldn't catch up with my my student loans. I was trying to pay off a certain amount before I applied for more on FAFSA, because I had learned about that situation and that process. I just couldn't keep up. So I had to take a semester off after that field trip. But I'm kind of glad it happened.
Okay.
Because I felt like I failed, even though that was something I couldn't control, but I saw what I wanted right before I dropped. I'm like, oh, this is what I want.
Okay.
So I'm working at Books A Million, hustling, doing other stuff to make money.
Yeah.
And I started skating.
So enter skateboarding.
Yeah. I had played with it before, but it really saved me then.
Tell me more about how it saved you.
It gave me an outlet because I was coming home from college, like any kind of generic hood movie. Homeboy come home from college. Hey, Trey, you did good. Now you can get your job. Like,
Right.
Trey got a job, y'all. That's
Calvin got a job.
Calvin got a job. Give me a burger.
Right, right.
So I came home and I saw home the way it was. It was like it was frozen in time, man. Nothing changed.
Like nothing changed.
Nothing changed. I had a whole new style. I was more into myself. I was more confident. And some folks back home saw that and they didn't like that. Or some folks celebrated it because like, B, you got out of your shell. Good job, dog. You know what I'm saying? But being back home, there's so many different distractions, getting you away from what you want. I wanted to save up, go back to school the next semester. The distraction said, nah, you about to be out in the street and doing what we doing. Because it's easy, it's what we know. And if you don't do it, you ain't real. So that's what I was told. That was the last big fight I got into with one of my homeboys. He called me out my name, and I had a choice where I could fight you, I'll handle this, or I just walk away. Part of me kind of wishes I stayed longer so I could talk. I didn't have the words then, but I walked away. And he said he lost respect for me and all that shit and all that stuff. But I'm like, man, I got to make money the right way. I can't do it in the street like that no more. That's not who I am. It don't line up with my vision.
Yeah.
And I feel like that made him feel less than. You know, so he, in turn, he could attack something, which is my name.
Yeah.
Don't think he could grab on. But anyway, I stayed focused. I went to work at Books A Million, fell in love with books because I fucking hated reading before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
One of my homeboys that I went to school with, like we kind of tried to skate a little bit before, but he came to visit while I was working. He's like, hey bro, let's go skate in the parking lot. And I learned that I felt so free skating. I felt so unbound. You know, anything could be a skate park. Anything could be fun. We didn't have no ramps and stuff back home. We didn't have no, you know, all this crazy stuff they got out here. So we were in the parking lot. We were behind dumpsters. We were downtown tagging stuff, just being free in the street. And it was the street from a different perspective. And I feel like that saved me.
Wow.
Because I was moving too fast to stop to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what role does skateboarding play in your life now?
It kind of connects me back to that free feeling. It's what I do when I need to be inspired. It's what I do when I don't need to take in any more information. I just need to react. When you're riding fast, you know, you don't really have time to think about too much shit. You're just like, okay, I need to either avoid this obstacle or turn it into something I'm about to have fun with. So you just it made me, that's it, like I mentioned, situational awareness. It brought me a whole new level of that. Like I could hear a car stopping at my six real quick because I know to watch out. But it's like you get your spidey senses activated, and it's fun. It's fun.
How long you been skating?
Man, on and off for I'm an old man now. I'm a sage, bro. I'm a wizard. I think since like 2010.
Oh yeah.
On and off since
Seasoned
2010.
vet.
Not really, but yeah, I have fun. I have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you end up in Portland?
My fiance at the time and I were we knew that Alabama could only give us so much, and we had to get out of there. That little box, that little hood box, it was too small. Either we could become that, or we could become something else. I had full intention of going back one day and teaching them what I know, but I had to get out of there, man. So I came up here. Well, we originally went to New York to teach, and we went broke. Back down to Birmingham to take care of family, to save up our money, and then we were out of there 2017.
You went to New York to teach what?
Art.
So you're an art teacher? How did I know this? You're a musician, you're an art teacher, you're a skateboarder, you're a geek.
Man, I think what it is I usually don't like when people put labels on like artist or musician, unless somebody wants to be called that. You know, it's all good. I have passions and interests, and I dive into them. And I feel like once I got a good enough understanding, if somebody else wants to learn it, I'll show you what I did.
Yeah.
And somebody paid me to do that. You know, I taught kids how to use Adobe Illustrator, how to use Photoshop, even arts and crafts stuff. Like, man, I could braid hair so fast.
You can braid hair?
Bruh, like to the scalp, to what you need. You know what I'm saying? I got it. I got it. All kinds of hair textures. Because kids, I learned art, they use that space not just to make things, but it's like counseling.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, there's like there was this notion that the art instructor was like, you go there when you're sad. You go there when you're feeling something, you don't have the words for it. And them kids would just talk to me and I listen, you know? And if they don't want to make something that day, they ain't got to. But I want them to know that that's a safe space.
Yeah.
The art space was a safe space. So that's what I was doing, you know? And after that, and you can't sustain yourself in New York off the shillings that they gave us.
Uh-huh.
So I went back home.
Like, please, sir,
bruh,
have
like,
some more.
man, let me tell you about Pop-Tarts.
Oh, word?
Yeah, like, I remember I would eat Pop-Tarts hot and cold to make myself think I had a different meal for breakfast and lunch.
Creativity.
Real shit. Man, them s'mores, you put them in the freezer.
What are you talking about?
The s'mores Pop-Tarts, you put one in the freezer, you put one in the microwave, eat them at the same time and see how different they taste. Stay woke.
You want some other stuff,
Stay
bro.
woke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was broke as hell.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey. But yeah, we did that, man.
Stay woke. I'm still.
They taste different. I don't know what it is. They taste different.
Mm-hmm.
But that time happened, and we went back home to Montgomery to take care of family, to save up money, and then Jasmine and I drove up here, and I had my Chevy Sonic. She was in her. I don't remember what that shit was. She crashed that thing. I don't remember. That's the first speeding ticket I ever seen somebody get in my life in person. She was busting it down the highway. Just. But anyway, we made it out to Portland.
Yeah. How's Portland been for you?
It has been a trial.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a trial. It's a very creative, very different city, and I appreciate it for that. I didn't know how conservative I was until I left, man. I'm not a conservative person politically, but I mean, like, I didn't know how I was still in a box.
Okay.
Portland showed me that's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, and that's cool. But it's a very homogenous place. It's not the safest place for a person that looks like me. So I'm learning. There's a different way to communicate out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool though. It's a different society that I'm learning about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did we end up at Thesis?
I'm still trying to understand that myself.
Okay.
Man, I was after when I got here, I was freelancing my butt off. You know, I had my LLC set up. Everything was running. It was hard. That first year was hard. But just as I started to get a profit on my design work, I was hired by a few firms, and I bounced from one to the other whenever, you know, because Portland has a lot of startups and things, and it's not sustainable. I heard about Thesis, and I think it was Enrique had posted on LinkedIn for open office hours, and I hopped in, saw patients on there. I've never in my life seen a Black graphic designer speak on a camera.
You've never seen a Black graphic designer speak
on a camera.
Okay.
I've seen them walking around. I've never seen them in the office working.
I see. I understand.
I saw patients, and I thought, what is it? Huh?
Okay.
So then I hit her up, and I found out that Thesis is a place that Thesis has a collection of minds from all different backgrounds. So a lot of them look like me. That was something that I thought I would have to create. That was my goal. My goal was to have the biggest Black-owned design company in the South.
Okay.
They did it right.
Okay.
You know, no under the table shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the Thesis had it rolling, you know, so I applied, and it worked out. And here I am. I started as a static designer. They found out that I had a knack for motion and a willingness to learn, and I moved over to motion. Man, I haven't been here for a whole year yet. Now I'm motion lead.
Lead boy out here, just
You know what I'm saying? Doing big things. And I'm trying to mentor people, trying to bring them up with me. Each one teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's look into the future, crystal ball.
All right, we're here.
Or however you'd like to.
It could be it could be an apparatus. It could be a ball.
Okay. For yourself, what's driving you forward, and what are you driving towards in the future?
I still want to have my own firm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's funny. The older I get, I feel like I'm getting further away from it because I'm getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm closer to it because I'm a lead. You know, I'm a leader now.
Yeah.
But that's my end goal. That's my end goal. And I'm doing it, my drive is doing it because I want people to see that it's possible. I want Tristan to see that he ain't got to end up like his friend that got killed. I want Kenya to see that the whole point is I want people to see that they can do it. They can look like me. They don't have to look like me. It don't matter. It's possible. You can be here. This is a space for all of us. We about to share this shit. So yeah, you know. Yeah.
That's dope. This is a great conversation.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Specifically, like I feel a lot of what you're saying, you know, especially wanting to do it for yourself, but also to be an example. Because like you said, emulation, being able to see it and understanding that there are particular people who I've seen that have made me go, oh, you're proof, you're evidence that it can be done.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thankful for you spending time talking to me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm thankful. This is great, man. I hope the people at home, I hope y'all are appreciating this and feeling it, because it's a lot.
Thank you for listening.
But it's important that you did it. It's important that you're doing it and that we are doing this, because I genuinely, truly believe that it takes stories like this to be in the world to continue to move forward. So more of this can happen. More people like you, people like myself can be in situations like this and even beyond. So thank you for sharing your story. And thank y'all for listening. We'll see y'all next time.